back to episode 4 of the Conversations podcast. How are you today, Mike?
I'm good. How are you, Daf?
Good, thank you. How has your week been, and what was going on last week?
This rain, lots of rain. I'm loving it. Changing weather. Winter's here. I like it. I enjoy staying home more when the weather's bad outside because I feel like I'm not being lazy or wasting the day. So, I like the change in weather. How about you?
Nice. I've just been working a lot. I did get to go out last weekend. I went to the downtown area that I haven't been to a whole bunch, and I found this fun organic store. I love a good organic store, but we don't really have like Whole Foods or anything kind of high end near us. But I found this one, really liked it. It was cool. I found a few things that I wanted, and then during checkout, I kind of embarrassed myself because I asked the girl, "Is this store new?" And she kind of took a second to answer me, and she said, "No, we've been here since 1981." And I just kind of laughed because that's before her and I.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know why
That's
I thought
not
it was
new.
new, but I don't want to say I hadn't heard about it, or again, I haven't really frequented that downtown area since I moved here, so I didn't know that it was like a long time staple. Anyway, it's kind of funny. Really beautiful store. I'll definitely be back. I also put up my Christmas tree this week, which was nice and festive. I really did want to get another Christmas tree because the one that I have is, I don't want to say on its last leg, but it's getting to be like more cute than festive and beautiful and realistic looking. But yeah, put up the Christmas ornaments and stuff. That was fun. When I was at your house the other day, I noticed a box of the energy drink Celsius. And it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Not to be totally rude, like I hope I'm not sounding overbearing by saying this, but in my opinion, nobody that lives at your house is a person that's like eligible to be drinking an energy drink on the regular.
No.
So seeing like a 24 pack of the Celsius, I was like, what the heck? I know it's popular amongst people in their 20s, 30s, young teens, whatever. But all I can think is that the levels of caffeine are unhealthy, unsafe. Just have a little old cup of coffee or two if you need to have two. But I think it's excessive. That's the entire point I'm trying to get across is these energy drinks have the servings of like 2 to 4 cups of coffee. I just think it's kind of unhealthy.
The box you're talking about has been there for a while now. Nobody really drinks it. The person who shops in my house is they simply fell for a new marketing angle trick, and I think they thought they were getting healthy sparkling water. But that box is still nearly full. I had one can, gave me chest pains at my age. I don't want to risk that. So I didn't even finish the can. We're a coffee house, so we do mostly coffee. It basically, you're free to judge, and I'm glad you do. I appreciate your judgments and opinions, but nobody's really drinking it.
That's a relief to hear. I like that you touched on the person that does your shopping fell for the marketing, because that's something else I wanted to talk about. These energy drinks are no longer clearly labeled that they are energy drinks. Red Bull is very clearly announcing themselves as an energy drink, you know, with even their commercials, you know, it's always something high performance, like an athlete doing something athletic, right? So a clear definition of what is being sold. But they're coming out with super fun flavors, namely Alani Nu, with like the Witch's Brew, or I think they had like a creamsicle. It's too easy for somebody to really like that taste of, you know, Witch's Brew or caramel apple, whatever. I'm just going to have that drink. Am I going to go work out? Do I really need the extra taurine or caffeine, or what are those other additives, energy additives? I know taurine is a big one.
Guarana, I think.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but yeah, exactly. Apparently, these energy drinks cause a lot of hospitalizations, particularly in teenagers who don't know what they're drinking. People with undiagnosed heart issues are realizing that they have said issue because these drinks are making it apparent to them after they drink it. You know, they apparently do have chest pains. Chest pains is a common thing for hospitalization.
Yeah.
Drinking these drinks.
Well, like the cigarette industry has proven, is they don't care about well-being of the consumer as much as they do the consumer's money. So they want you to buy and buy a lot and consume and buy more. That's what they want. They don't care about my chest pains or teens going to the hospital.
So segueing from the energy drinks being kind of dangerous, sometimes mislabeled, having concerning dosages of stimulants, I think another ingredient that is really prevalent, kind of hard to get away from, are the fake dyes. Red dye 40, is it blue 5, yellow 3? I'm really trying to stay away from those unnatural dyes. But I think it's kind of hard because it's everywhere.
What's the point of any dye? Like natural or unnatural, healthy or poisonous? Like why are they dyeing our food?
The only thing I can come up with is to make it more appealing.
Sales.
Which is a major concern. If that's the only reason why something like that's being added, what the heck? I commonly thought that red dye 40 was made from crushed up bugs, which, as you mentioned, arguably is natural or organic.
Technically it is, yep.
But apparently, after doing a little bit of research, it is mostly petroleum based. Red dye 40, also known as Allura Red AC, is a synthetic colorant made from petroleum byproducts or coal tar derivatives.
That's all toxic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Toxic.
Being a label reader, I'm noticing that people are kind of villainizing cane sugar, like all natural white sugar.
Really? Who's doing that?
I think just companies in general want to be able to label their product as no sugar added. So in lieu of using naturally grown sugar that comes from the earth, it's from sugarcane, there is a process to it, of course, that makes it white and beautifully granulated. I'm sure it goes through probably not the safest process to get there.
Yeah.
But again, I think companies are now, in lieu of using the sugar to be able to label themselves as a no sugar product, they're using sucralose, which is entirely synthetic, not natural at all.
Cheaper to produce.
And there's a weird yes, cheaper to produce, but there's such a weird taste to it. Again, it's kind of in everything, and I am a pretty big label reader, but every once in a while I'll sip on something and I didn't read the label, and I can tell immediately that there is sucralose in it because of the weird taste. Sometimes it gives me a headache.
Yep.
So, not all the time, but sometimes it does. I don't think it's being villainized necessarily, but people are buying a product that they don't think has sugar, and instead it has a entirely synthetic sugar additive, which is not good for you.
I grew up with cane sugar in soft drinks. In fact, they didn't even call it cane sugar back in those days. It was just called sugar. But then they started using high fructose corn syrup, which is a genetically altered sugar from genetically altered corn. So it's like the lesser of two evils. They're both bad, but in my opinion, raw cane sugar is less bad than genetically altered, super processed chemicals. Coke from Mexico is literally different than Coke in America.
That's what I'm talking about. Doritos, Coke.
Yeah. They use real cane sugar in Coke.
It's exactly what I'm highlighting.
In Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's other countries that are doing it. Why are the American manufacturers able to take these cuts that other countries...
Greed.
Well.
Money. Politicians.
So if we could just ask everybody to stop being greedy.
And stop lying.
That would be really appreciated.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be just amazing, and it would stand out on the shelves if you could plaster all over your product, all natural, no fake sugar, no sucralose, no synthetic dyes, like
the system we currently have, the agricultural system we currently have, will not be able to feed people raw organic food like what you're talking about. There's simply not enough potatoes, onions, raw, fresh fruits and vegetables to feed the world healthy. So
I have to strongly disagree. Maybe because nobody's putting their mind to it, and that's not a priority, or people aren't prioritizing or working hard to do so. I have to disagree. It could be done if people were prioritizing it. I noticed also when I was at your house, not that I was creeping or anything. I guess I'm talking about taking note of the Celsius, and now I was also taking note of your Primally Pure deodorant, the deodorant that I purchased for you,
Thank you. Yeah.
probably at like, I don't know, was it beginning of summer, a while ago? Have you been using it?
Yeah. I like it.
Awesome.
I appreciate the gift. I like that it doesn't have poison ingredients in it or other toxins. It works. It sticks. It lasts.
And no aluminum.
And no aluminum. Yeah. Yeah. There's, I don't know if you realize, but they're putting aluminum in all sorts, lots of things, including our air. But yeah, different topic.
I think they also use like beeswax, and their fragrances are naturally derived, so it's not just artificial perfume that you're putting on your body. I've been trying some of their other products too, mostly beef tallow based, just because the beef tallow is such a fad and really popular right now. I wanted to see what all that was about and if there was any truth behind it, or if it was kind of just like a gimmick or a scam. But I've always had pretty dry skin. The beef tallow moisturizer is amazing. Obviously, beef tallow is from an animal, and it is, I guess, similar like lipid wise to what your body produces. So I guess it's
because we're all mammals.
right. Negative things that I'm seeing people say, it's like old fashioned.
Why is old fashioned wrong, or why does it have a bad connotation? Like, to me, old fashioned sounds like proven. When I first moved to Japan, I was not aware that Japanese people don't use deodorant. I couldn't find it at a store anywhere. And I remember asking my girlfriend, the stuff I brought over from the States ran out, and where do I find underarm deodorant? And she's like, yeah, Japanese, that's an American thing. We don't do that here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's changed since you've been
I think
there?
it's changed since then. Well, they've definitely gotten more westernized. As she explained to me, she said, we don't, I thought it was kind of racist because she said, well, we don't stink like Western people do. And I'm like, what? That's really racist. And she's like, well, Western people smell bad because they consume a lot of milk and dairy products, cheese. And have you ever smelled what cheese smells like when it's warmed a couple days later? And it's like Japanese eat very healthy, raw fish, whole foods. They don't drink a lot of milk, cheese, dairy products, not a lot of beef, pork. So she's quite right. They literally don't produce body odor the same like we do. She pointed that out to me. She said, when I first met you, you stank, but not so much anymore. And I was like, is that a compliment or criticism? Anyway, yeah, she pointed out that my body odor literally changed after living there. Human beings have been around for thousands and thousands of years more than modern processed foods have been around. So I personally believe that we humans are designed and intended to eat whole foods and meat. I'm not vegetarian. I think that goes against our human nature. Humans are perfectly adept and designed to process meat.
I'll agree with you. Naturally, yes. Historically, yes. Scientifically, yes. That all makes sense. But I have to think about people that have, eating disorders or digestive disorders that actually can't eat meat in, steak form or something like that. Can't have a chicken breast. Some people have to only have vegetables or fruits. Maybe they get their protein in other ways. Yeah, there's balanced, healthy vegans.
How many gold medalist Olympians are there that are vegetarians?
How many?
I'm just going to guess none. In my book, 1, 2, even 3% is the same as none.
I'm sure that there are advantages to some Olympic athletes being vegetarian.
How about those people who break the world's records for the longest or oldest longevity of humans? And they always ask them, what do you do that kept you so healthy and you lived so long? I don't recall hearing any that said, well, I don't eat meat.
But if they're getting to that age, it doesn't matter if they were a vegetarian, if they've only ever eaten meat in their entire life, if they've never had an apple, like they just got lucky to get to that age, if you're asking me. But I see what conclusion you're trying to draw,
yeah.
And I'm not going to agree with what you're saying.
No?
No. I mean, There are definitely people that are vegans or vegetarian that are totally fully healthy and balanced.
For a long time now, I've had this personal theory that I call the caveman diet, which I remember explaining to someone, and they told me that somebody actually wrote a book about what I was saying. But I have this diet theory that if cavemen didn't eat it, then we shouldn't. And if cavemen did eat it, then it's probably the healthiest way to eat. So when I shop for myself and I go to the store and I'm tempted to reach for that bag of Doritos, I ask myself, did they have this? Did cavemen eat Doritos back in the day? No. So put it back. And so I shouldn't eat it. But then I go to the fresh fruits and vegetables produce section, and it's like, yeah, apples, oranges, lemons, lime, all the things that have been available to humans for thousands of years. That's probably the best choice for eating, including meat and fish. And our ancestors were big meat eaters.
Caveman lived from 25 to 35 years. That was average lifespan of a caveman, just letting you know.
Well, because they got eaten by tigers.
Oh, that's
or
why?
Lions.
Or maybe because they were nutritionally deficient.
Well, except I'm still opposed to vegetarian diets. I don't think they're
How do you know
fulfilling.
that there weren't cavemen that were vegetarian? Could have been cavemen tribes in some areas that we're just not good hunters, but we're hella good gatherers.
Yeah.
And I mean, before Native American tribes, they were the cavemen, right? So geographically, where they were located had to affect what they ate. So how we can't say that there weren't cavemen that weren't vegan or vegetarian.
Except I think most anthropological studies have shown that their diets were rich in protein from animal.
The ones that have been studied. All caveman studies that have gone down is not 2 or 3 males and 2 or 3 women from every single area in the world that these cavemen caved and did their thing. It's just not there. The information's not there. I'm sorry.
Well, like I called it, it's a theory,
Yes.
and I use it when I shop for myself.
Which is how many? Again, tell us how often you go grocery shopping for yourself.
Well, when I used to live alone, I used to shop for myself.
I'm talking about now.
Oh, I don't shop for myself. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, but when I'm at the dinner table, I definitely include a healthy, well-balanced diet, in my opinion, based on my caveman theory. I will reach for a nice thick steak. Now, I'll take seconds on chicken, and I love sushi, fish, shrimp. Yeah, I like meat.
Not that I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just saying that there's totally balanced vegans and vegetarian. Not that I am one. I have been a meat eater my entire life. I don't see myself stopping eating meat. It works out for me. It's what I look forward to eating. People talk about Kim Kardashian being like one of the biggest celebrities or one of the biggest, most identifiable names in the world. I would say Britney Spears, by far and wide, is more identifiable, bigger celebrity.
And longer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like her entire life.
In fact, I think generation gap is linked by someone like Britney Spears, because I remember just loving her songs too when I was younger.
Other than "Oops, I Did It Again," can you name any of her songs?
Oh, gee. What's that latest one about working hard? I think called "Work Bitch." About if it's to young women, if they want something, work for it, go get it.
That's right.
With the little sexy video to go with it. She's definitely beautiful, talented, famous. Yeah, it's memorable. I remember her.
Which is why it's so hard to see her downfall. These past few years have been sad. We thought that her getting out of her conservatorship, when I say we, I guess it's her fans, people that are supporting her and rooting for her. Everyone thought getting out of the conservatorship that her father and I think ex-manager put into place, some would say wrongfully, we thought that was going to be her start of, her freedom again. But she still seems to be imprisoned, whether it's something going on mentally or maybe she's still physically trying to recover from whatever it is that her handlers and her father put her through. I think last month or maybe a few weeks ago, she was in a restaurant and she was acting kind of erratically. I don't think she was entirely alone in that instance, but this past incident that I want to talk about, when she's at a wine bar in Thousand Oaks, she was entirely by herself, completely solo, no bodyguards or anybody on her team, no protection. She was pictured by the Daily Mail coming out of said wine bar with a relatively full glass of wine, a flute. Her team released a statement saying that she wasn't drinking, but unfortunately the paparazzi video that followed her getting into her car after leaving the wine bar, it definitely seemed as though she had been drinking. She was at an establishment that sold alcohol. The driving was concerning. If I were on the road and I saw somebody driving like that, I would feel inclined to call the police and say there's somebody acting dangerously and endangering other people's lives. I think it would break my heart to realize that that person is Britney Spears, because I think everybody is rooting for her and wants what's best for her, wants her to be mentally stable and capable. But the behavior is really alarming and concerning. And this is coming from a place of love. Did you see her recent outing? Did you see any of the footage? And what's your take on it?
Yeah, I saw that video. That is strange, very unusual. Coming from a background of Hollywood chauffeur, that's not normal. That's really out of the ordinary. Most people at her level of celebrity have countless people that want to help, that a lot of people who want to take advantage too. But celebrities like her are constantly getting offers of people who want to help, who want to work for her, drive for her, manage for her. And a lot of them are willing to do it for free.
It's probably hard to trust anyone, especially if they're willing to do it for free.
Yeah, kind of suspicious, right?
Well, because she was taken advantage of in the worst way, paying top dollar. And she still got thrown into a conservatorship, stripped of her freedoms.
Taken advantage of.
Worked like a slave. Yeah, taken advantage of. I think it was 2019. A coworker told me, if you haven't already, definitely go see Britney. She's an amazing performer, such an amazing show, and I don't think she's going to be performing that much longer. I think he had more of a scoop than I did. And I, a lifetime Britney fan, thought, well, she might just be getting older and wants to spend time with her kids. It was before her kids turned 18, so she still had time to spend with them, right? Little did I know that it was because she was going to break free of her conservatorship, but now it seems like she's having issues mentally. Like she isn't necessarily stable. She's been posting curious videos, the dancing videos on her Instagram.
The scandalous ones?
She's always dressed pretty scandalously.
Yeah, but she did them on her own, like in her house.
Her house.
Yeah, but not professionally done. Like she did it with her own camera herself, alone.
Her own iPhone.
Yeah. I saw those.
I mean, there's been so many. She's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling you would have come across at least one. Yeah. Anyway, just a sign that maybe her mental capability has been dwindling for a while. I don't know. I'm just so concerned about her. And I think a lot of people, like you said, are wanting to help her. Yeah. But all I'm getting at is it must be hard to trust anyone after being taken advantage of for years and so badly.
Speaking of the trust and taking advantage of, I was just thinking maybe what she's suffered or endured, maybe she's like trying to break loose of the industry and her old lifestyle. At that level of celebrity, they are almost not allowed to drive themselves. They have too much to risk losing or being sued or hurting somebody. And most celebrities have backgrounds of substance abuse, alcohol abuse, other things. And their managers, their PR reps, their agents who are paying them They literally provide drivers for them so that they don't they don't do stuff like that, like in that video.
I have to say, I don't think Britney has a huge team like what you're describing. I think it's probably 4 to 5 people, but I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Anybody can arrange a ride for her.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's what she wants. I think she truly wants to do whatever she wants to do. And if on Thursday night she wants to go to a wine bar, she's not going to text a manager and say, hey, get somebody to drive me. You know, she has her beautiful Mercedes that probably has less than 20,000 miles on it because girl
Right.
never gets to drive.
Right.
What is it to go into the next town over and go to the wine bar? Of course, I'm not saying it's okay to drink and drive ever. I'm saying if that's what one of the most successful and hardworking women in the world, if that's what she wants to do, who is stopping her? Not an agent that she texts saying, oh, sorry, I don't have somebody that can go out and drive you right now. How about we wait until Monday? You know?
Yeah.
So it's just so heartbreaking to see that she did get free of the conservatorship, but she truly still doesn't have her freedom. And when she is free and doing what other people do, going to a wine bar on a Thursday,
Anonymously.
attempted anonymously, she's being, I don't want to say stalked, but the paparazzi are so creepy and all over her. She can't go anywhere without, being recorded in high definition. That is not saying that the erratic and concerning, potentially under the influence driving that we saw is okay. I would never drink and drive. I'm such a lightweight. But I would bet that the average person knows a friend or a family member that would do exactly that. Go to a wine bar on Thursday, drink by themselves, maybe get behind the wheel impaired. I think we're only crucifying her because she's a celebrity. And as we've talked about, they have a responsibility to be a good role model. All I can say, what's done is done. And my heart breaks for her that she is not actually free.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. That's why I'm thinking that, because of the things she's suffered, to me, it looks like she's trying to break free of this, what do you call it? Restraints that she's always lived under and got abused by, taken advantage of. Cause that's definitely not normal for someone at her level to do that unless, so clearly she did this, she left her house and drove herself, which she didn't have to do. I'm sure one phone call and, hey, I want to go. And I even want to keep it low key. They'll do that for her, but she skipped all that. And to me, it looks like she's trying to break away, from something she's trapped in.
And I can only pray that she does break free of that.
Yeah.
Just in a safe and healthy manner. I was thinking that her ex-husband, I think his name was Sam, I was thinking that he was going to be who she needed and he was going to stand by her. And obviously, I think they had a pretty messy divorce and there was cheating allegations. And I think we build up somebody who we've admired but never met just because we want them to be the incredible, good-hearted, thoughtful, and loving person that we think them to be. Of course, she could be all of those things, but putting the public in danger with the erratic driving is negligent and not excusable. And it seems like there isn't even somebody in her life to kindly explain that to her. I don't know. I mean, again, her team can put out a statement saying that she wasn't drinking and driving, but where was her team to make sure that this was being prevented?
They're just doing cover. They're covering their ass.
For sure, of course.
Yeah.
I would bet that she was drinking. Again, the driving is pretty telling.
Yeah. Ultimately, we shouldn't judge. But something you said just now, the problem with her breaking free, she's literally too famous. As a driver, one of the things that I learned to appreciate about my personal life was that people like you and I, we have true anonymity and freedom. You can decide not to dress up and put makeup on and deal with your hair and just cover yourself with sunglasses and a hat and sweats and go to a coffee shop that you want to go discover in your neighborhood, and nobody's going to stop you, interfere with you, or bother you or recognize you. With true anonymity, you have freedom. You have levels of freedom that famous people just can't exercise. Like this, she can't even go to a wine bar without being followed, harassed, and noticed and recorded. People like you and me, we do that every day.
And my heart breaks for her even more with you bringing that up, because when she was a young child, she's been famous since she was very young.
That's right.
Like we mentioned in the pod last week, how much of a choice does this child have? How much is a parent saying, she's an amazing singer, she is available to do this show, she wants to dress up and perform this way? I'm sure as a child it's amazing to feel that way, but you're not putting into full scope the potential there and how you're ruining your chance at having a private life. If you would have sat her down when she was, 7 or 8 and said, you can be on, wasn't she on Mickey Mouse? You can be on Mickey Mouse show and eventually you can move on to do all these things, but do you realize you might lose your possibility to drive your own car or go to the beach or go to a concert and enjoy the regular daily things? I think it's hard when you've been famous your entire life. I can only imagine she's probably sick of it and there's no breaking free.
There is a cost with fame.
Right.
And the more fame, the more it costs you. And you touched on it. I don't think she has had freedom of choice since she was a little girl. And the more famous, the less choice you have in anything. And but it looks like she's struggling to break away from that. I feel bad for her because I don't think she's going to get the freedom she wants.
I feel bad for her also, and again, can only pray that she gets the help, love, support, and team that is willing to do the hard work. I mean, she has to do the hard work too. Who even knows if she's capable? Again, I think it's easy for everybody that claims to be her fan to build her up and say, she can just do it. She just needs this. She just needs that. I would like to say that. But when it boils down to it, maybe the prescriptions that the conservatorship had her on against her will did some permanent damage. I know that people don't like to hear that pharmaceuticals can do permanent damage. Maybe that's me being ignorant, making that claim. I'm saying it's a possibility because the Britney that we saw, the fun-loving, outgoing, funny Britney, we haven't seen that for a while. Maybe she's hiding, but maybe she's gone. But also, the public doesn't deserve her anymore. So if she just wants to hole up and live a private life, I hope that she can do that also. She deserves whatever she wants.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. And a lot of so-called fans actually are nothing close to a true fan.
I think it's a different level of fan when you want nothing but the best for her and being okay with her retiring, or maybe being okay with not having any more updates on her. To just draw the conclusion that I think there are fans that want her to come back and they want something from her, and there's other maybe more genuine fans that just want her to be happy and don't want anything from her. We don't doubt. We don't want an update. We don't want to sell a paparazzi photo. Again, just want her to be cognizant and happy and able to drive to the wine bar and get her driver to drive her back, or whatever she wants to do safely.
I'm just thinking that's going to be really hard after everything she's accomplished.
Of course.
And think about this. Next time you're having a bad hair day or bad makeup day or didn't sleep so good the night before and you want to go try a new coffee shop, it's be grateful. Be grateful that you have a certain level of anonymity and privacy. Sure. I really enjoy my privacy, and I actually learned to enjoy it more, appreciate it more after working with these famous people.
That's all we have for today. Thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of the Conversations podcast. Anything you want to say to sign off?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I mean, I think we're going to meet next week before Thanksgiving, so a little premature.
I'm in the spirit already. I mean, It's raining. Winter's here.
It is raining.
For me, it's the holidays.
Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you later.
Happy holidays.
All right. Bye.
Bye.